So I came across a topic yesterday about how to make your wife chase you again. And I just had to bring this up and have a chat about it. Oh, and a disclaimer, I am happily married and Papa has been in a long-term relationship. So this is not advice. Don't take this as advice. This is just suggestions from our experience. Now, I think this doesn't necessarily come towards wife specifically, what we're going to talk about. This is kind of overall in a long-term relationship because things are not always hunky-dory, if we can say it like that, or things are not in that honeymoon phase, and you have to work. Now, this can come across to different areas in your life, but don't do something with expecting of getting something back in return. So, for example, don't do the dishes or don't take your lady out on a date expecting to have sex afterwards or expecting something to come back from it. Now, this is in a relationship overall, whether it's short or long term. That is horrible. That is literally sounding like you've paid money for a hooker and you're going to get something out of it. That's literally what it is, but you haven't labeled it as that. So just do something for the love of your heart and not expecting to get back.
Man, I agree with you 100%. And like you said, it doesn't apply to strictly just wives, but I believe they're the ones that are the most affected by this, just because women are much more in tune with emotions than men typically are in terms of ratios. So this does apply to everybody. It applies to your husband, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, everybody else in between, anybody that you are involved in with regards to a relationship. And I mean, even friends, this applies to friends as well, right? I call this transactional behavior. And transactional behaviors are very dangerous to implement because it creates this commonality that in order to get something, you have to give something in exchange, right? It creates this expectation and this pressure that anything that's done for you is always going to have a catch, right? There's always an expectation for it. And especially for your partner who you're creating a life with, you're creating a future with, a family with, they should not be subject to feeling that pressure or expectation. That anytime you do anything that's revolving around actions of love, kindness, passion, affection, goodwill, that they are going to be expected to provide you with something, whether it's praise, recognition, who's new in the bedroom for all the Futurama fans out there, anything in exchange for what you did. You made the example like cleaning the kitchen. If you clean the kitchen and you go out of your way to make sure that your wife knows you cleaned the kitchen, you're giving that pressure of her having to now praise you for it because it's going to be something that's very special that you do. It's very special that you took the time to clean the kitchen. You took time out of your day to clean the kitchen. And so she's expected to be grateful for that. That's not how it works. If you do something for your partner, you do it out of love. You do it in silence. Actually, it takes me back to a video that I watched not too long ago discussing what true strength is. And it is doing acts of good or kindness even when nobody's watching. That is the mark of true strength. And it is also the mark of true love. If you do something for your partner, not expecting anything in exchange, the only thing that makes you feel good is the fact that you know what you did made her life or his life a little bit easier, a little bit more pleasant, or that it would have brought a smile to their face. That is an act of true love. You did something for them and you expected nothing in return. And, it's really tragic that this is so common in relationships. Kitty and I have been in a relationship now almost 5 years. And to be honest, we're still in the honeymoon phase because we take a lot of opportunity to express ourselves. We never hold anyone to the things that we do. And when we do things of kindness, we do them just because. I mean, I do it just because when I do something for her, she smiles. And I love her smile. I think it's beautiful. So I get so much satisfaction out of that. I come from a background of bad traction in relationships just because I'm the type that I try to do nice things for them. I try to be a good partner to them, and it gets taken advantage of. Sure, fair enough. But I gotta tell you, man, being in something that is mutual, it is the greatest feeling ever, honestly. And so I do acts of kindness, not because I'm expecting something in return, but I do some acts of kindness, goodwill, love, affection, because it makes me feel good to do those things. And this doesn't just apply to Kitty. I'm like this with my parents. I'm like this with my family. I'm like this with my friends. How many times I've been told that somebody never asked me to do something for them, and I respond with, I wasn't gonna make you ask me to help you out. Am I supposed to wait for you to ask me to be concerned or to feel obligated to help out or get involved? Am I supposed to wait for you to ask me before I do something really nice for you? No, I'm not expecting anything. I'm just doing something nice. So don't create a foundation based off of transactional behavior, because as a result, you're going to create a space where your partner is not going to feel secure in the relationship. They're going to question everything. They're going to feel that catch all the time, anytime you do something for them, and it's going to repel them away. They're going to expect less from you. They're going to want less from you. They're going to expect that every single thing that you do is not genuine. It's not acts of love. They're going to question your emotional investment in the relationship. Do things out of the kindness of your heart. Be in that mutual love. And that'll create a space where your spouse, your partner feels safe, and they'll be attracted to you more. They'll, instead of repelling against you, they'll come closer.
So you say having your partner smile makes you, or brightens up your day, makes you smile. So, for example, buying a woman, in our case, flowers. It's something so small, but flowers has got such a label with it that you did something wrong. That's what society has made us think, which is so wrong. Don't just wait for special occasions or you've done something wrong to go get flowers. Go out tomorrow, go buy some flowers because you want to, not because you need to fix something, but rather because you want to give them something nice. Flowers, I find, kind of a touch and go thing because you're choosing something that will die. But man, women love receiving flowers. They'll never say it, but it's just once in a while, it's just such a nice gesture. So just do it because you want, just do it because you love them.
Yes, exactly. You don't have to wait for there to be a special occasion to do something nice. If I go out and I see Kitty likes blue flowers, if I see a bouquet with a lot of blue on it, I just get it for her because I know she'll love it. And doing something for her that I know she's going to love, or I know will make her life easier, is so much more satisfying to me. Because this is the code that I live by in a relationship, is that I want to be the best person or best version of me for the best person in my life. Let me say it again. I want to be the best version of me for the best person in my life. That is the code that I live by. I really wish a lot more people would incorporate that in relationships, because a lot of people have bad perceptions of relationships. I think relationships are beautiful. Connection is beautiful. And again, it is simple things like this that'll attract your spouse or your partner and make them chase after you, literally. Now, I'm not saying that to just for you to just maliciously try to make your partner chase after you, but what I'm saying is it'll make you a lot more desirable in the relationship. You won't lose that spark because, I mean, it's been 5 years and we still haven't lost ours. And I had a lot of people telling me that the honeymoon phase only lasted like a couple months. And I'm finding that a little bit hard to believe right now. But that's because we both put in the work and effort to make that special magic last. And anybody can do it.
And then the argument can be had about, let's paint this picture. Your partner's busy, so you decide to do the dishes or you decide to clean up your house, your apartment, And this goes on for a while now. And your partner has the time, but decides to do it elsewhere. So it feels like yourself are doing all the chores, where it was nice to do it the first little bit because you're helping, but then there's nothing, you're just doing all of it. And so there is a fine line between inverted commas being the slave in the relationship, but it's on a situational discussion. But the thing is, have that talk. If you feel like, you think carefully about this, but if you feel like you're the one that's doing all the chores around the house and it's not now acts of kindness do this, then definitely bring it up.
That is very true. It is very easy with a lot of people in the world that are very malicious. It is easy to be taken advantage of. It is easy to fall between the cracks and have that disconnect where you're being taken advantage of in a relationship. It's very easy to fall for that. But that's why I advocate for mutual love. I've been in many relationships where the love was not mutual. So it's really important that you educate yourself to know whether or not somebody mutually loves you as much as you love them. A piece of advice that I've heard a lot was that people would tell you, find somebody that loves you more than you love them. That is completely wrong. It is a bad precedent to set for relationships. It's a bad expectation to have for relationships. What I love to do is, I love to write down the things that I love, the things that I want from a relationship, how I want to be treated by a partner, and then I incorporate those things into how I treat them. I be the things that I want to make me feel loved. And you listen, you look, you pay attention. You watch the person's intentions when they're in this relationship with you. That is the only way you can avoid being taken advantage of. It might not sound easy, but if you take the time to actually learn and educate yourself on it, you can pick up when people are manipulating you. It can be obvious.
And I hope every individual finds this out at the start of the relationship and not years down the line because you decided to ignore it.
So yeah, initially there was two things that was discussed about how to get your wife to chase after you. Obviously, this was the first one, doing something without setting an expectation for something in return, having no, as I say, transactional behaviors. And then there's the second one, which was being somebody that chases something outside of the relationship, like a goal or a higher calling, something that makes you chase after a dream, something that makes you interesting. And I boil it down to being an ambitious person. Nobody likes somebody nobody likes a partner that does nothing with their life, that doesn't try anything in their life, that just stays in their comfort zone and never experiment, never try to live. It is depressing. If you do like those things, that is incredibly depressing, and I'm so sorry. You must hate your life. I'm so sorry. I mean that genuinely. I don't mean that condescendingly at all. I genuinely think that you need to actually try and explore healthier habits. If you are an ambitious person, if you have dreams, you have aspirations, you discuss things you love passionately, it doesn't just have to revolve around the relationship. It can involve the relationship, yes. And I encourage people to involve their spouse or their partner in their dreams and passions. I do it. It's amazing. But being somebody that's ambitious and try to achieve things and try to reach goals, that makes you attractive across the board. That is something that's going to make your partner chase after you because they love to see your passion. They love to see that side of you that's so passionate, that's so ambitious, that wants to achieve goals, has big dreams for them. I'm saying them because if you're in a relationship, try not to make it all about you. Try to include your partner. It's very important. I know Kitty graduated from university and she got her license, right, in her profession. And she made that about us. That was our success. And it felt great for me. She spoke to me about how she appreciated all of the assistance I gave her, all of the support, everything, that she wouldn't have been able to accomplish it without me. And that felt amazing having that recognition. So I really want to say, be somebody that's ambitious. Never forget that when you're with somebody in a relationship, when you're a partner with somebody, it's a two persons deal. It's a package deal. You two are a team. And I always tell Kitty, it's us against the world. I know I'm plugging my relationship in a lot, but I'm just trying to make reference to what I'm talking about, right? So I hope no one is annoyed by that. But really, be ambitious, go out there, achieve things together, achieve things on each other's behalf, include each other on everything you're doing. And that's going to make your wife or your husband or your boyfriend or your girlfriend really chase after you.
Using your experiences as an example, and there's completely nothing wrong with that. And I do agree. I think most of human nature, I don't want to say everyone because it's not true, but you always want to be better than what you were last year. And that's with the growth ambition. And I think you need to become honest with yourself where you want to be if you have ambition. If you don't, again, and your partner's very ambitious, it's not going to work in the long run, in my opinion, because you both need to have an ambition. And I think it is very difficult to have the same ambitions as your partner. I mean, I'd say it's more rare, but the thing is, you're ultimately working to a set goal, even though you might do a different path. So, like, for example, you're in two different fields of work. So let's just say construction and then IT. But the thing is, both of you are ambitious in your role to get to a higher managing position. And then with that higher managing position, you get a higher salary. And then that is your ambition for you and your partner to buy the house of your dream or the place of your dream, as an example. So that's how it comes together. So it's not just being attached to your partner in case someone's misunderstanding. Because that also alludes to another point of don't be attached. So don't be around what is the term? Don't have a leash, or don't be tied, or there's so many terms to this, but don't be on your waist of your partner, because it is super unattractive that yes, we want to see our partner every single day. But the thing is, it's actually not a good thing. Some distance is great. If you have your hobby that doesn't involve your partner, don't always cancel the hobby because you're thinking that they're going to be upset that you're going to do it. It is such a turn off. Never forget what you enjoy. Your ambition always doesn't have to be in the workplace. I think it should, but you can also be ambitious when it comes to like your hobbies, for example. So let's say something that really makes you happy. So for me, it's surfing. So let's say I have my ambition to get fit or fitter, to surf a specific wave or to surf a specific time. Let's just say I'm going to get fitter so I can go surf a specific wave at the end of the month for my holiday, right? So you set that ambition for yourself. So you push towards it, you work towards it. And you know how attractive it is to see your partner do something that they love because of their whole persona and their whole attitude when they've done something. So you know that dopamine effect. So using again me as the example, if I catch like a really decent wave, I'm absolutely smiling and I have so much to tell about it. And you come across so confident when you're explaining to your partner how awesome this was. You know how highly attractive that is. So ambition's not just in the workplace, it's other areas of your life as well.
Speaking of which, we should actually make a surfing session someday. I'd love to do that. But you're 100% right. That is exactly how it should be. We should be our partner's biggest supporter and biggest motivation. Well, we should try to be, at the very least. We should try to inspire, motivate, and support our partners to accomplish their goals by having goals and dreams of our own. And on the topic of, being leashed to your partner, I agree. I think that the strength of your relationship, the foundation of your relationship, isn't based off of how strong of a connection you have when you're together, but it's how strong your connection is despite being apart. I think that time away from your partner really challenges your commitment, your faith, and your love to that person. And that is the true test of whether or not your connection's strong. whether or not your love's actually strong. So you shouldn't be taped to your partner 24/7. I agree. Space is very important. It's good to create, personal space in a relationship because it also allows you time away to make the heart grow fonder, make the heart yearn for the other. And then that's also how you can maintain a strong romantic sense, right? You practice these habits, you actually manage to create that yearning for each other that allows you to enjoy the time you get to spend together even more. So, you hit the nail on the head there.
Another one I just thought about, and that is taking initiative. So many times we don't take initiative. So, just a random example. Let's say, okay, thought of a good one. Instead of asking your partner, where would you like to go to eat? Think of something. Doesn't have to be like over the top, going to a new country or some glamorous thing, but taking initiative and then bringing forth the idea that you would like to do with them. Oh my goodness, something so simple, but completely gets overlooked. If you're at a restaurant, for example, on the way home, and you know there's no food at home, don't ask your partner what they would like to eat. You already know, especially if it's a place that you've been before, like a fast food chain, you already know what they like to have. So just get it and bring it home. Something that just, it's something so simple. Do it, guys and girls.
You'd be surprised by how much women love a man that's decisive, a man that takes the initiative, a man that can make decisions and quite literally be the man in the relationship. Men feel good when they take the initiative and be the man in the relationship, and women feel good, especially when the man makes decisions with them in mind. So, like you said, if you're going to go out to eat, if you know what she loves to eat, you can just go get it for her. Simple. And if you pay attention enough, you'd actually be able to know multiple different options that you could choose from. But especially in my relationship, Kitty loves it when I make a decision, because when I make a decision, I don't back out of it. I don't whimper away or I'm super indecisive and can't make up my mind. Women love a man that knows what he wants. And women love a man that knows what they want. Just use it to your advantage. But obviously, as a man, that means you have to pay attention to what she says, what she likes, what she eats, and then kind of make that whole menu in your head. So if you want to get something to eat, well, based on your observations, what she likes and what she might not be in the mood for, just go do it. That's a great call out there. I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page about this. But remember, guys, nothing in life is 100% guaranteed, right? These suggestions that we've made, they might work for you, they might not work for you. But that's part of the process. It's learning what does and what doesn't work. I've seen this work a lot more than it hasn't worked. And these work for me, right? So, it's something to explore, but that's why it's so important to engage in discussion about this stuff, to learn and educate ourselves about this. I really advocate for educating and creating awareness about these types of things, because a lot of times it's just stuff that can slip through the cracks. People don't take notice of it like they should. So with this, I hope that you just take our suggestions as is. They're just us trying to express to you guys these things that work for us. And I really would just like to, even if we help just one person out there try to make the best out of their relationship and make themselves and their partner feel a little bit more loved, that's a win for us, right? Putting this stuff out there, trying to make a difference little by little, as much of an insignificant drop it might be, putting it out there. Let's just all learn and better ourselves together. If you have anything that you think works for a relationship, or by any chance you feel in the mood for sending a comment our way, maybe you want to send us some hate, maybe you disagree with the things we said, by all means, engage with us. We'd love to read your comment. If we can just be respectful, right? Let's not be toxic. Let's not be hateful. Leave a comment, hit the like button. If you guys have anything that you maybe wanted us to discuss, maybe future topics or anything like that, by all means, we'd love to talk about those things. I love talking about things, even if I'm not very knowledgeable about it, because it gives me the chance to become knowledgeable about it. So, yeah, appreciate you guys.